I have another game I've been playing though. Another game that's similar to something that JJ and I talked about several weeks ago. Now this thing has been out for a long time, and it's now made its way to PlayStation, and that is the Antstream Arcade.
Yeah.
So Antstream Arcade is this streaming sort of arcade streaming arcade system that's built on 1300 classic games that you could play. I mean, there's like R-Type, there's Double Dragon, there's Ninja Gaiden, there's ZVS, I think, and there's a bunch of stuff.
Grandpa games.
Yeah, Grandpa games. Metal Slug. They're all streaming.
Ooh,
so
fun games.
Fun games. Yeah. They're all these streaming style games that check it out, cool visuals.
Some of the games in this thing are like out there too. Like I don't know why you chose this game to be part of your service, but fuck.
So let me kind of preface this by saying that there are games across every era, across every device. Like there's Spectrum games in this, and there's Commodore 64 games in this, and there's Super NES, and there's arcade, and there's Mega Drive, and there's Rogue is in this. The original Rogue is in this.
Yeah, what?
Which is impossible to play with.
Yeah, how do you play it with a controller?
You don't.
You don't, because you got to bring up the freaking keyboard. There's a keyboard just for that game that comes up. Who was that tough? But it's interesting that it's in there, and I think that's actually kind of a neat thing. So, yeah, you can play all these games, all streaming. Awesome. It's all streaming. The only bad part about the streaming side is that it's really dependent on your network and their network, because my network has been ripping at home, and there were at least 2 or 3 times where their back end, I'm playing on PlayStation 5, their back end crashed out, and it just hung up on me. Now, essentially,
Dali, do you think you need a PlayStation 5 Pro for this, or?
Yeah, exactly. Maybe
that's what
make the graphics more graphic-y.
Yeah. Need to take advantage of that pisser.
Right. So you can play the games. That's cool. There's all these kinds of every genre in there, sports and blah blah blah. So you can play it just like if you're really interested to get back into some of these. There's 1,300 of them. Get back into some of these old games. That's cool. There are 2 aspects that I actually really like about this, and one is you build up your. There's like this weird gem system that if you play games and you do these things called challenges, and I'll get to that in a second.
Achievements.
You get achievements, you get gems, you can unlock certain things about your avatar and your tags and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. It's really it focuses on the community.
Yeah.
Because the actual challenges are that you can pick, like they have daily, they have weekly, they have monthly, I think monthly, but definitely daily and weekly challenges. And then there's just challenges that are perennial. Yeah. But the challenges are a lot like the Nintendo World Championships NES edition thing that we would talk about.
Runny-ish kind of thing.
A lot of speed running stuff. There's like, how far can you get on one life in R-Type? How far can you get in one life on R-Type only with the shield and not with a weapon? How far can you defeat this boss in Double Dragon without getting hit? Can you defeat them without using punches? It's a lot of those types of challenges, and you get points and you add up, and it keeps track of those points and stuff. And the nice thing about it is that, and I have to check. Actually, maybe it's not. I don't know if this keeps. This is like, well, so it's cross-buy, but I don't know if it keeps your account across different play on the PC and play on the PlayStation. I don't know if that's true yet.
This was a freebie on the EGS store.
Yes,
2 years ago.
It's fun from that challenge standpoint, because it got me playing like Pac-Man for no reason. It got me playing Burger Time for no reason. It got me playing like, I sucked at Double Dragon because I wasn't used to it, because it's the arcade Double Dragon and not the NES one.
Yeah, the real Double Dragon.
It's the real Double Dragon, but which is the NES one. Hello, but no, it's fun to go back into these games. I have an appreciation for Metal Slug now from playing this. I have an appreciation. There's like 50 different fighting games on this, and like 90% of them are Fatal Fury somehow. And then there's like 3 others that I had never heard of before in my entire life. But
World
it's a really
Fighters,
neat idea. Yeah. It's a really neat idea to have these challenges, and it's what I loved about the NES World Championship thing that we played on Switch. But this kind of keeps going. This has challenges across everything, and it has your regular levels will continue to go up, and I think that's actually kind of fun. And the whole community aspect is cool because if enough people get to certain levels, then you start to kind of activate other aspects of the challenges that are in there. So that's really interesting from that standpoint. And plus, the games all actually look really
the emulation that they're running is pretty good.
So
you have to keep in mind, this hasn't come up yet, but this is pay to play.
Yes. So I was going to get that point. It's pay to play.
Pardon?
Yes. There you pay monthly or yearly or whatever. They gave us, this is it was a review code. So I think we have a 1-year membership.
On the EGS version that I played, I don't know if it's changed. I haven't played it in a while, but it used to just be like you can earn in-game currency, or you can just buy in-game currency, and that works to just play that until you deplete it.
So the in-game currency that you get are those gems, and you get let's say you have like 1,000 gems. Well, some challenges take 10 gems to play. Cool, no big deal, because you can actually earn them if you get like different medals, like if you get a bronze medal, if you get achievement. Some games take 50. If you're doing a community thing, it might take up to 70 or 80. So having 1,000 gems seems like a lot, but then that can be whittled away really quick. And I went from 1,000 to like 600 in a matter of 2 hours because I just kept playing and going back and playing some of these games, and I suck. Part of it is me sucking as well.
It's such a weird bullet point.
Yeah.
All PS4 is PS5 crossbuy.
Exactly. But it's now on PlayStation. It functions really well. Again, it's just the network aspect does slow things down, because when if you fail a challenge, you have to wait for the whole game aspect to reload, to ask you if you want to go back into a challenge, to confirm the challenge, and then start back up. Whereas stuff that's native on a console will be really quick. They'll be zippy and quick. All this is streamed, and that's, I think, what the issue is.
I think the thing that's cool about this, the thing that's cool about this that I like is that this is like the only thing of its kind in any sort of like legal upfront way. Where you just have a bunch of old games in one place. Like, it doesn't really, there's no like Netflix for retro games, so it's about the closest you're
This is the closest you're going to get,
And it's kind of neat because there's some weird shit in there. There's some weird stuff that's just peppered throughout it that kind of don't expect to see. And I know that with this release, they started putting PS1 games, which weren't like there weren't PS1 games before. I don't.
And I mean, I loved playing all the freaking pinball games. Like, I'm a pinball.
Oh yeah, you put a fucking pinball game.
So many. Yep. So it's cool. And again, it's great that there's a community aspect. Unfortunately, the community aspect isn't tied to your Sony account. It's tied to the Antstream account, which means I have nobody playing this for me to compare and play with, but on PlayStation. But it's really novel. I will say this, I don't know what the costs are. I'm kind of leaving the costs out of this right now in this discussion. It's very cool. It's a great idea. It's bare bones ish, and the only reason I say it's bare bones ish is it's very much like Netflix in that it's just the games.
There's no director's commentary.
There's no director's commentary. There's no like booklets or anything like that. It's really, you're just playing each of these games. The challenges are really cool. I think that's actually a fun thing. The UI is okay, but I think I say it's okay because, again, it's streaming everything.
You'll notice that they do not show it in this at all. They're just showing games.
It is cool though to kind of get back into some of these old games and play. Like, they'll show you the Commodore 64 version, or the VX Spectrum version, or the Atari 78 version. You can choose from any one of those that you want, which is a very cool cool little thing to do. So interesting, fun. If you're into retro gaming, I think this is something that is actually you may want to play because they're emulated really extremely well. Visuals are great. Just make sure your network at home is running and their network is up and running, because obviously anything that's streamed can be an issue. But yeah, I was really really happily surprised with this. When they sent the code over, I thought, all right, cool. All right, a retro game thing, whatever. I mean, I'll play it, and I guess I'll talk about it. And I played it, and I'm like, oh crap, this is actually real. I can see myself hopping into these at least for the daily challenges, but I want to get time with this and actually like start playing multiplayer, because there's multiplayer modes in this and all that kind of stuff, or gaming online, I guess. So it's cool. And man, what a neat idea.
It's $30 for a year.
Is it okay? Yeah, it's not too bad then.
That's not bad.
It's not bad at all to get all these games and get them streamed. And
do you know what else needs games? The PlayStation 5.
Yeah, there you go. So there you go. You just got 1,300 of them with this thing.